For me, the genesis where MSB comes from is that with an enormous amount of knowledge and experience developing high-end and top digital products in the past, they developed their own brand name and started 8-9 years ago really making MSB products. And if I see at the progress that was made from the beginning with the link tag and looking now at the reference tag and the select, there are no other companies that made such progress in such a short time. And that's because of experience and the dynamics inside a young company, being more than 25 years old experience, but due to the young energy from Jonathan and Daniel taking over the company, it gives an enormous enthusiasm and passion for what they are doing. And they're pushing the limits. And that is something that I find extraordinary and makes me very hopeful for the future. I think MSB separates itself from other high-end audio digital brands because we do everything in-house, and we are one of the only ones, I think we're the only one, making the ladder decks and pushing the digital limits at this level. Being a musician myself, I know how music instrument sounds, I play music myself, and MSB is the one that comes closest to reality for me. And that's the biggest difference. I think what MSB is doing is art. At this level, everything has to be perfect. And to get to that level, for me, that is art in knowing what you're doing. It's art in engineering, looking to every detail, going from the input modules to the outputs, the way the products look, uniformity in manufacturing, taking care of all the details and making exceptional products. And that is, for me, that's art. That's not just technology. Technology is only a vehicle to get to a result. And if you're reproducing art like music is, you have to do the same excellence in your manufacturing. What I love about this industry is that the people that I know, they care for what they're doing. They love what they're doing. It's their passion. Honestly, what I don't love is people trying to be cheap and not respecting the level of effort that's made in. It's like some people are just buying because they can get a discount. And for me, that's the same as if you're working for a boss. At the end of the month, you would say, "Oh, I'm gonna get a 20% discount on your paycheck because I think I don't want to pay you that much. I don't think you're worth it." And I find that offensive, that people do not respect the people that are working for them, shop owners, distributors, manufacturers, and they're just trying to cut down because they're like, "Oh, these are only $3 components." It's not about these components, it's the whole chain of manufacturing, taking care of everything and presenting it to a customer that you're trying to cut down. And I find that disappointing. It's the same as stealing music from an artist instead of paying for a CD. That is something I don't understand. Understanding what happens in digital products is fighting noise, and to understand where noise can come from and affect the performance of digital equipment, you have to really think through the whole system, from connecting a router and a noisy power supply behind your fantastic power conditioner, you're putting the noise behind the power conditioner and it's again in your system. So you really have to think the whole 9 yards, every step in your system to lower the noise floor, look for grounding, reduce noise, and that is so complicated. In setting up a turntable is an art. It's also difficult. But once it's done, if there is a hum, you know, oh, there is some ground loop, and you fix it, and it's done. But with digital, it can come from everywhere, and it affects your system. And I think to do a proper setup, you need to be an expert in what you're doing. I think it's the choice of what a music lover wants. If he likes vinyl, he'll play vinyl, and next to that, I think you can have a fantastic digital setup performing at the same level and having the comfort of just taking your iPad, selecting a song, and listening to what you want. It's a good exercise getting up every 25 minutes to take off the album, turn it around, clean it, prepare it. I mean, it's a different handling. You're handling a material, vinyl, you're caring for it, where a digital file is something you cannot grab. You can just take your iPad, look at the cover, select the track. So for me, that's a different emotion. But performance-wise, I prefer the digital part. It's just so fantastic what is possible with the MSB products. And in terms of dynamics, detail, resolution, the soundstage, for me, that I have not heard a turntable that reaches the level of the Select app. I'm passionate about music and art, and for me the technical part behind audio is just the vehicle of reproducing the art. It's not just, it's like driving a car. I don't have to understand all the technology, how suspension and an engine works, but I can appreciate the way it drives. And my audiophile system is set up with a full MSB system, the MSB monoblocks, the Select DAC, wired with synergistic research cables. We have the Tidal loudspeakers, and it's a magic setup. I play music and I get it immediately pulled into the music. I enjoy the emotions from the artist, the dynamics, and that's for me why I love this job and why my job is my passion. Ripping software is crucial if you have your own CD library. I have about 1,000 CDs, I have 600 albums in vinyl, and I buy a lot of music online. When I'm putting my own music onto a hard drive, I have to be careful that when I'm ripping correctly and bit perfect. The good thing is that with the MSB I can check it because we have bit perfect playback. So ripping software is important. A cheap computer can reproduce music or reproduce a digital signal and convert it. But I think you just need a proper digital output, and once you get it into an MSB DAC, that's where the magic happens. Transports, I hope they will stay for a while, but if I look at the evolution of streaming services like Tidal, Spotify, and I look at what Roon is capable to do, I think that's an evolution where in a couple of years I may be using most of the time Tidal streaming because the way it sounds in my system is just extra. It's exceptional, it's fantastic. So I have access to more CDs than I ever can buy or store in my home. And it sounds almost the same right now as when I used the UMP transport from MSB. It's close. It's not there yet. There's still some things that work, but then with the new formats like MQA, where you have an improved playback over a streaming service, I think that's where it's going to go. And I hope young people will pick up on that and listen to that difference in quality and appreciate it, and take that as a step to go to a better audio system. I think with an MSB DAC you are at the top of the field. You're in pole position and you're leading your race. The potential of MSB with the ladder DACs is that we're sounding fantastic, but there is still potential for growth. If you have a chip that's made and you're using that chip, you can build the surroundings, the power supply, you can improve all little things there, but you cannot improve the performance of that chip. You can't go further than the chip can go. And with the ladder DAC, we still have an enormous room for growth. And that's where MSB is an exceptional product. That's where we're leading the race.